let's talk about the elephant in the room. You do not need a big budget to create a home that feels intentional, stylish, and most of all, uniquely you. I have seen $1 million listings, houses, apartments, staged and designed like said hotel lobbies, with just random furniture tossed in there without a single thought of how everything, comes together. Meanwhile, some of the coolest, most inviting spaces I've ever seen were designed on a shoestring budget, my home including, and I will show you how it looks in another video, but my budget is also very limited. Anyway, I'm digressing here. What I want to say is that great design isn't about how much you spend, it's about how much thought you put in it. And honestly, I think that is the most important thing, because a lot of people treat their space like a grocery list. They need a couch, they need a coffee table, a dining table, maybe a lounge chair, and basically over time they accumulate this weird selection of furniture that make the space either cluttered because maybe they're not the right size or the right color, the right shape. There's so many things that go into this. So what I want to say is that it's not about the stuff, it's about the story. So what I mean by that is it's about choosing the pieces that work together, layering textures and colors that you like, not Pinterest for sure, and arranging everything in a way that makes your space feel like home and not a furniture showroom. I see very often people adding lounge chairs or couches that look extremely uncomfortable, and I wonder, probably it's better to sit on the floor than on those pieces of furniture. So yeah, today we're gonna look at one of these listings, and it's right here in Vienna. And I decided to give it a makeover because it looks so sad, and this is such a standard thing they do. Also sure that people who will buy it, because I've seen apartments and like expensive apartments like this designed in a way that I would not want to live there. I don't know who lives there. It feels like ghosts live there. So let's give it a homey look and a homey vibe. Let's get into it. Okay, this is the space I'm talking about, and this is how they designed it. I assume for staging, obviously. And I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's absolutely uninspired. And as a buyer, I would honestly not be able to see myself living in this apartment looking this way, to be honest. And I think you can see the price of the apartment. It's not cheap. I think they could have done a better job in making their desired buyer, because probably they have a prototype of who they want this apartment to be sold to or be bought by. And I think they did not do a very good job at all. And yeah, overall, it looks like an Airbnb. Yeah, it's okay-ish, I guess, but it has amazing features. These ceilings are quite high. They are 4-meter ceilings, which is something that they did not actually play with that much. As you can see, they've only used a piece of art and this shelving unit to play with the height, but it is not enough. And you will see what I did with the space to highlight that feature, because that is a major selling point. Let's start from the ground up. As you can see, we have the room empty now. We have a lot of glass here in the back. We have the banister. Let me just go in and show you. So we have glass here. This is glass. This is also glass. This is glass. This is mirror. So we have a lot of hard surfaces that we also want to tone down as well. The floor is, I want to believe that is natural wood. Honestly, I would have not chosen black plugs and fixtures in this case because they stand out so much, but this is not a problem. This can be changed. We also have these spotlights that I don't like and I'm not a fan of. You don't have to use them, or you can remove them and add spotlights that actually could objects that, for example, you have a framed piece of art here and you want to have the spotlight hitting the the piece of art, and it's going to create this very interesting gallery like feeling, you know, or here where we're going to be adding a piece of art as well. So all these things are going to add so much interest rather than these spotlights. And we're going to be adding our carpet first of all. And as you can see, we have this beautiful floor, and I want to believe that it's hardwood. The color is natural, it's very bright. So let's add our carpet. So I'm gonna go for this one. And as you can see, the carpet has this color inside as the floor. So we are already pulling from the, you know, elements in the room to connect to the room in a sense. And we also have this complementary color, this kind of bluish greenish color in the carpet and darker blue color as well. That goes very well with the flooring, and it's already making the room look so much bigger compared to the carpet that they have had in the staged room. So the geometric pattern adds a modern touch to it. The earthy tones with a touch of teal tie everything together. Like they say, the carpet ties the room. And now, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but a carpet actually defines an area in your room. We are going to be defining the seating area, the conversation pit, let's call it like that. And also it sets the color palette for the entire room. I think this is a very good starting point when designing an apartment or a room, but it's not necessarily the first step, I would say. All right, the next piece of furniture we are going to be adding is going to be a sideboard, and I chose this sideboard that looks very much like I think a 60s, maybe 80s piece. It has this, first of all, is made of natural material, wood. And we are introducing another color of wood in the room to make it a little bit more interesting and not washed out. Yeah. And also, as you can see, it has this very cool pattern on it that adds the more interest to the room, but also it adds more texture to the room without trying too hard. And I could say that this is actually a statement piece. When you're choosing furniture, also think about functionality, not only about how it looks. In this case, we have plenty of space for storage as well, side of the console and on top of it. And this sideboard has everything. And I honestly don't like TVs in general, especially if you have white walls and you have this black box in the middle or whatever on the wall. It looks like, I wouldn't say classy, but it looks, I don't know, deserted in a sense, because there's nothing on it, you know, when you're not watching TV. So I prefer, especially now when we have smart TVs and they are becoming more and more affordable. I think a smart TV is the best thing that you can do for your space, especially if you want a space that is a little bit more chic, you know, and it doesn't look like your usual living room. So we are going to be adding a TV on top, and I'm going to go with this one, a smart TV. So as you can see, I have also chosen the piece of art on it, and it has again a very interesting pattern. As you can see, we have a lot of pattern. It doesn't clash. It has an organic shape, and it's just interesting to look at. At least I feel like it's very interesting to look at. So when the TV is off, like it is now, it just blends in like art. One is on its own and, you know, functions as a TV. So you have functionality, practicality, and, you know, beauty. And next up, we're going to be adding another piece of art. And this is what I'm talking about right here. As you can see, right now, the colors are very strong. We have this very blue marine piece of art, and we have this teal kind of colored carpet. At first look, they don't really go very well necessarily, but we're gonna add other pieces of furniture in the mix to make everything, you know, balanced and work together. And also this piece of art, to some extent, has a textured surface and also a lot of height. Yeah. So we are trying to highlight the height of this apartment. This is, in my opinion, the selling point Yeah, it's quite expensive for the space you're getting, the size of it. And I think they did not really think through when choosing the piece of art. This is extremely important. And especially since you're coming from here, I think this is the entrance. You're coming down the stairs. This is something that is going to be such a highlight. It's going to really stop you in your tracks. Maybe we can even add, a picture light here. Maybe if there's space for it. If not necessary. But these are the things that you need to think about. And of course, it's not important what people think when they come into your house, but how you feel when you come into your house, how you would feel coming from, that door into your home and seeing all this and seeing these two pieces of art, the TV included, looking amazing and cozy, right? And art like this is really a game changer for any space. Even if you have like, I don't know, 2-meter ceilings, it doesn't matter. The bigger the art piece, the better, because it draws your eye upwards. It's not a good idea to have everything at bottom heavy in the room, because then the room feels sunken in and it feels uninteresting and very cluttered. This way we have things happening on the walls. Yeah. Obviously, it also can create the illusion of high ceilings as well. The bigger, as I said, the bigger the art, the better. And don't be afraid to go big. It can really transform your home or your room. All right, now let's move on to the fun stuff. Okay, everything is fun, but obviously you can see this chandelier. I had to add it to the room right now because my layers here are a little bit crazy. But as you can see, we have a chandelier, and this is very, very cool. You could go even bigger than this, but obviously in this design, it wouldn't look that impressive necessarily because it's flat. So in the room, you would think differently. But in this case, I think this adds so much softness to the room, but also it makes it so chic and so interesting because it's irregular. The material is interesting. Obviously, it's some sort of glass, I would say. And yeah, again, we have a different type of material that we're playing here. We're not talking about this kind of glass that's like your standard, glass. We're talking about something that is more exquisite. So let's move on to adding our couch. And this couch is quite dreamy. It's made of velvet, and as you can see, has no legs. It's brought down to the ground. And yeah, as you can see, also the tone, it's kind of like brown greenish tone. It ties in with all our elements in the room. You can actually relax on this couch. You can either sleep on it, you can lounge on it, you can, just be on it. It's one of those couches that you can actually relax. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying choose pieces with intention, not with, it needs to be cool and it needs to be stylish. It needs to be also functional, because if you hate sitting on your couch, you will not sit on your couch. You will not use your living room. You will hate that room for sure. A couch is one of the most important things that you will buy in your house, period. This is, I'm saying this and I'm standing by it. And I'm sure you know this deep down. That is true. So as you can see, this couch has 3 seaters. It's quite big. I think you can fit probably like 6 people on it if they squeeze in. But we're gonna add more seating furniture because this is the part where people actually congregate. This is where you're gonna bring in people to have parties, to watch movies, to relax, to enjoy, and to let your hair down and just be. And also because, as I said earlier, it's low profile, it has no legs, no nothing. It's seated right on the ground. It helps the space feel open and airy. And we're gonna have another 2 pieces of furniture that are looking like that. So, low profile. So let's add those 2 because this is the one and the other one is this one. Okay. And as you can see, it's already so cool. Look at this. I think these are very comfortable. I cannot guarantee, obviously, because I don't know. But again, they're low profile. They're making the room feel grounded, airy, and quite elegant. Because again, we're using, I think this could be another type of velvet, but it's not the same as the velvet on the couch. So we have the same material, but it's a little bit different, right? And the color ties in with the carpet and also a little bit with the painting, right? And everything is started to come together. It looks very, very cool to me. Honestly, this is a room that I would design for myself. These are the pieces that I would add to my own home, to be honest. So as you can see, we have no coffee tables, no nothing to have, put our drinks, coffee, books, whatever. So I'm gonna add those. And let's start first of all with the one between the two blue lounge chairs. And we could add another one maybe here. Yeah. And maybe another one here. But this is just up to you. So as you can see, we have this beautiful side table, and I have added a black object to this design. I think you need to have sometimes black to kind of, I wouldn't say to tone it down, but it makes everything more elegant, more stylish, in my opinion. And let's add also the coffee table. Yeah. And I opted for a marble table with this interesting color. I do love this color, and I feel like it's the color of the year, this burgundy color. And these massive legs that it has, it looks like a sculpture, right, in the room, but it also adds functionality. And because it has this natural shape to it, the legs and the table itself, the top of the table, it feels like it's adding that softness to the room, as well as the lounge chairs that have these rounded corners to them as well. And because it's made of marble, it adds that touch of luxury which we want to have in this room, to have this perceived luxury feel to it that is what we paid for, right? So mixing marble, velvet, wood, metals, which we are going to be adding in a bit, are the things that keep this space being interesting. And these tables are proportionate to the sofa and the lounge chairs. And this helps the room keep balanced, yeah? So what we can do, let me just go to the black table here. I'm gonna duplicate this table, yeah? And I'm gonna go and grab one from here and maybe add it here. So we have an additional table if we need. We can move it on the side if we need to, I think in the original size of it is a bit shorter, but let's just say that this is the table. And yeah, you have plenty of surface space to put your, drinks, books, whatever you have to place down. And I'm gonna start adding some materials here, and I love chrome. And I feel like chrome really is the material that makes everything super interesting. And I love these candlesticks, this too. Yeah, so I have added one to the column here and one here on the side of the TV. We are playing with symmetry as well, but we could also not have them here. For example, this one on the column, maybe you want to add something else. Yeah, so I removed it. If you don't want it, you can remove it and you simply can not have it. But I'll be honest, I kind of like it. I'll keep it. But you can actually buy them separately, and you can over time stack them. Yeah, they are very good and very, very interesting. I really love this brand. And I have another one that I want to add on the table, and it's this one. Yeah, so we have kind of a decadent look now, but we are also creating this coziness with the candles. It's kind of moody and witchy if you go for that kind of design. Anyway, I think it's very, very cool. And of course, we cannot forget about lighting. Lighting is such an important thing. And we already have this chandelier going on here. Without the chandelier, actually, let me just remove the chandelier. And look at this. The room, although nicely designed, kind of is missing something. And this is crazy how much light or light fixtures, lighting design adds to a room. So I'm going to be adding, first of all, I'm going to add a lamp on the sideboard. Yeah, this is gorgeous. And it has this kind of, the material looks like pearl, like it's made of shells or something like that. I'm going to add a lamp, a floor lamp on the sitting area. Yeah, right here. And as you can see, we are blending chrome. We are adding another chrome material to it. Yeah. And we have the same shape going on here, this with this. Yeah. And I think it's quite interesting. Let's continue adding. So I have this, I want to add on the sideboard. So we have another lamp here, but it's a different style. I don't like to have matchy lamps on a sideboard or something like that, entryway, because I don't like symmetry that much. I like to play with different elements on sideboards, for example. Now, let's see, what else did I have here? Ah, yes, this beautiful lamp. Look at this. Look how much warmth this is adding already to the room. We have added items that complement each other. This orange with the green and the teal and the blue. They're all complementary colors. And burgundy and this wooden sideboard here. They're all working together to make this room cozy. All right, so let's add more furniture, because although we have plenty of sitting area, we need more. This is probably a big room. I don't know exactly how big it is, but it's a room where you want to have a lot of friends coming over. So far, we have available 5 sitting areas. I mean, 5 sitting spots. Yeah. So we need more. Let's add more. So I'm going to go with this Barcelona daybed. And as you can see, we have already created probably another 2 spots for sitting. We have introduced another material here, which is leather. Also wood, the wood that you can see here. Yeah, it's tying in with the sideboard color wood. I think everything is working together, as well as the legs of the daybed are chrome. So all the elements are working together in harmony so far. Let's add something more. And this is something that I found by accident, and I always think that probably you know that red theory where you have to have at least one red thing, it doesn't matter what, in the room, yeah, to make the room interesting. So I have added this poof. This poof actually can be used either for sitting as well. You can move it around, or you can use it as a side table. You can put a tray on it and you can use it as a side table as well, which is we're, hitting functionality. We're hitting a gorgeous object. We're hitting chic. We're hitting another material. I think this is made of some sort of, I don't know, some natural fiber. Again, we have the wooden, bottom of it. We are hitting so many points here. So there you go. Not that difficult. And the final piece of furniture in this area is going to be our gorgeous, shaggy, furry chair. So I'm going to disable this one. We don't want to have it there. So here we go. Again, we have another type of wood. Yeah. We have this shaggy material of fur. We have so many materials going on here, and the room feels so chic, so elegant, so homey as well. It's not trying too hard, but it's also, I don't know, it's very elegant. All right, now, because we need to play with the height. Yeah, as I said, we need something to play here with the height, because the height is just, yeah, we have these columns, yeah, but it's a little bit boring. There's nothing happening behind this couch. We have these windows that are, not interesting. Let's delete this. And we need some organic shapes going on in the back, because we have the glass and we want to kind of, balance that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some plants. And these plants are honestly so architectural, so interesting. Are these two? And look at this space, how it has, I want to say flourished, but how much better it looks right now. Yeah, we have this pot that is made of some sort of rock. We have introduced rock as well. Another type of material. We have the organic shape of the, tall plants. We're playing with the vertical height. We're giving a lot of height. We're not blocking the light going through. Yeah, we have thought about this. The plants, although they're tall and they have a lot of branches, they're very thin and very architectural. So I think this is fabulous. I'm gonna just add, I think, this below for more interest. And I think that is it. I think, my lamp. And that's it. That is it, guys. We have managed to make this room look fabulous. And honestly, I could say this is my dream room. I do really love this Barcelona daybed. I wish I had it. I also wish I could get these plants somewhere here, but they're so difficult to get. Yeah. So we have made this room look absolutely stunning. And compared to the pictures from before, I think this is, I want to say, a massive improvement. And we have everything. I think it has a lot of personality. It's very chic. Yes, these are not cheap to source, but you can still source them. They don't have to be exactly this, but this is the idea. The principles of how to design a room are the same. And I wanted to show you how you can blend different materials to make a bland room look expansive. So whether your space is big or small, with high ceilings or just like the standard ones, these principles that I talked about can make your room feel stylish, balanced, especially, and uniquely you. And as I said, I added things that I love. I love all these objects. Yeah, I love them all. And I have saved them all, except for the chandelier. I just found it by chance. I've had this items saved on my Pinterest board for a long time. And also this chrome floor lamp. I didn't have it, but I have added things that I love and that I think that I would want to have in my home if I had this space to work with. So let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite element in this room? What would you do differently? Is this something that you would like to see in your home? I'm really curious what you think your style is in terms of design, and I'll see you next time for more.